right, here we go. This is day 4 of the Michigan Junior Team Arena. Remember, we have one more round. That's 5 rounds, and then we're going to start our playoffs after that. This Friday, 3:30 p.m. is our final round, and then the schedule will be coming up this week for the playoffs. Our matchups today, we have the Checkmates versus, I believe it's the Forks, number 1 team in the black division. Checkmates versus the Forks. And the funny thing about the Forks is that their first board has been injured, which means missing in action. We don't know where he is. It is Wallace, WJH3122. He's been missing for the last 2 or 3 rounds, but it doesn't matter to the Forks because their 2nd through 5th boards are so strong that they just they're just that strong. I mean, wow. They're just winning the other games. And so that's what's going on for the Farmington Forks. And they're playing the struggling Checkmates, who I believe they haven't won a game yet. They might have a draw or something, but they haven't won a game yet. And that first board is Brian Wilson Jr., who has been struggling in the classical portion. He's won all of his Blitz games, by the way, but he struggled in the classical portion where he's lost 2 out of 3 on that first board there to some lower rated players as well in that section. So checkmates, but it's still early. If you win today's round and then you're able to win the next round, then that's 2 wins for you and you're right back in the hunt for the playoffs. So 2 games make a difference in the Michigan Junior Arena. And, what I'm going to do here, I have to actually sign out and sign into my other account. That account is the account that I have. I'm friends with most of the kids that are playing in the Michigan Junior Team Arena. I'm going to sign in another account. And we're going to look at the matchups between the Forks and the Checkmates. We're going to go down the line. Now let's look at their second round matchup, which will be Master Minute, Tarun Rajesh versus BC Chess 1. And let's see. Okay, so Master Minute. First game is 30 minutes. Second game is 5 minutes with 2-second increment. An increment is added time every time you move. So what I see now is, yes, Master Minute and BC Chess are playing right now their first 30-minute game. Let's check in on that. This is the Forks versus the Checkmates. Forks is the number 1 team in the Michigan Junior Arena in the black division. Undefeated in Blitz, undefeated in Classical. Thank you for joining this live stream. I am the coach, Coach Wilson, and I am the commissioner of the Michigan Junior Chess Arena. This is brought to you by Michigan Chess Association. Right on the bottom, you see the website where you can see the videos, upcoming tournaments, past tournament winners. Michigan Chess Association, the best chess association in the country. Everyone has until 3:45 to accept all challenges here. I'm getting messages at 3:30, and I must say I'm not responding to any messages at 3:30. Okay, you have until 3:45 to accept the challenge. If you're not on your board at 3:30, then you have resigned. You have forfeited your game. Now, in this game that I'm looking at now, BCH versus Master Minute, I see that Master Minute is actually up a rook. So we're going to go to another game here. Master Minute should be able to convert this up a whole rook here. Rook advantage, and shouldn't be a problem at all. And now knight d3, probably picking up the yes, the f2 pawn as well. So this is Looks like a winning game. And now it's actually going to be rook takes c3. And then this looks bad here for BC Chess. We're going to go to another game here. The next game. We will be right back. I'm hoping that the connection is okay for these streams. We're gonna go. This game ended. Master Minute wins against BCH Chess there. BC Chess. B Chess H1. That's what it is. B Chess H1. And we're gonna go down the list for these two. The next one is. This is Abhijar Sarkar, actually. Abhiraj Sarkar. And he's playing checkmates. Okay, so I think that actually let's go to EAC 92. And he is playing Rashad Balaji from the Forks. That's going to be a hard one. Rashad Balaji is undefeated on board 4 for the Forks. Doing well, just like most of the boards there on this team. And right now, I don't see... Okay, so maybe I'm not looking at the right thing. Okay, so EAC is not actually playing right now. And so Rashad Balaji and EAC, they're not playing. So we go to Queen's Army. Queen's Army is playing Dilly Dilly. Should be playing Dilly Dilly. So Queen's Army. Okay. And should be playing Dilly Dilly. Queen's Army from the Farmington Forts. I think undefeated as well. Queen's Army from the Farmington Forts are playing Midtown Checkmates Dilly Dilly. And let's check in on this game here. All All right, so they're in their 5-minute game, but Queen's Army has already won the classical game, and now the 5-minute game is going on right now. Queen's Army is, I believe, undefeated, or I think only lost one game, I believe. I think she lost one game for the Farmington Forks. Her career, you see the career count for Queen's Army versus Dilly Dilly is 3-0. And now here you see she's threatening to play Bishop H6 here and winning a rook, because you're going to have to play G6, Bishop H6, G6 here, and Bishop takes F8. That wins a rook because it threatens checkmate. And there's no other way to stop the checkmate other than other than G6. So instead, Black plays G6. Now, did I miss a move there? Oh yeah, because the knight was attacking the queen, so he plays G6 here. I think Black is okay in this position. Black has an extra pawn, a nice knight in the center of the board. This was a big blunder by Black. Just gives up the knight on D2, and that's a blunder. And Queen's Army is winning this game here as well. So Farmington Forks is looking good in this game. Let's go to the next matchup. It was the Dragons. Now, I don't know who they are playing, but I can look. Actually, this is a thing, probably a good thing for me to show you guys how to look up the schedule. So we go to Michigan Junior Arena. And on the website by the computer, it takes a longer time to see the rosters and schedules updated, because when things change, it takes a couple of days for everything to register correctly. But on your phone, it registers faster on your phone. So if you want to go to this website, use the phone. It's better to do it that way. Okay, and let's go down and see what the schedule is for the Black. Waiting for it to load up. All right, so here this Sunday, checkmates and forks. Checkmates get white on all the odd boards, and now it's Bishops versus Dragons. And Bishops have I think they are actually first place in their section, or no, they're second place. So Bishop versus Dragon. This is a good matchup because I think the Dragons are also a pretty decent team as well. So let's check that out. Now this is going to be Wolf 2008, who is one of the top players in the league, against Shooty 7212. And let's go back to look at these games. Wolf 2008 versus Shooty 7212. Let's look at that first. Wolf. This is a good matchup between the two first boards from the Bishops and the Dragons. I don't see games from Wolf 2008 here. That's interesting. I don't see Wolf actually playing here. Am I wrong? Huh. So Wolf is not there. I wonder which player has not responded. Wolf is usually never missing his game. So we're going to go to the next one. And that says SME8N, who actually, I had a player say that he wasn't at his game. And he's supposed to play the number 2 board, Avenue Ball from Canada. And let's see if they got going here. Doesn't look like they did. So SME8 is going to lose that game for sure, because once a message comes into me, oh, wait a minute. Hold on, I'm sorry. 27 minutes ago, he was here. But now I don't see him here. Now he was online earlier. But okay, so once a message comes into me that you were there, then that person will win the game if you're not there at 3:45 or you haven't messaged me and asked me to reschedule. So that's it. So SME8 will lose that game there. And I don't know what's happening with Wolf 2008 and Shooty 7212. No one messaged me about the other not being there. So I'm gonna have to find out about that. But let's go to Ohadma. Ohadma versus Didas 10. I guess that would be who should be playing. All right, so the first game, Ohadma loses to Didas, which is the first game. Yes, Didas loses, or Didas wins the first game, and that's a win for the Dragons, who already have another win against, and this is going to be interesting, against SME8 because he did not show up. And then now they're playing right now in the 5-minute portion. Remember, there's 2 different types of parallel leagues. There's a 5-minute league, Blitz league, and then there's a classical chess league. And right now it looks like Ohadma he has this pass pawn, but it was weak. And it looks like Black is winning this game as well. I don't see any good ways to draw this game. Now, I would look at moves like, I don't know, this move here is coming, so Rook B3, you have to watch that. So Rook B3 attacking the H3 pawn. That was a pawn that he probably should have left there. Now what Ohadma wants to do is go, and then there's the H3 pawn, the weakness there, maybe King G2. And so by him putting the pawn way up here, that's a dead duck. There's nothing that could protect that pawn. So that was a big time mistake. And here, this is a bad move because after Rook takes H4, then the pawn here on A4 will be taken, and Didas 10 should go on to win this game as well. So let's go to another matchup. Now that's Ohadma. Spark 101 is also on this Bloomfield Bishops team. And he's facing off against Shooty 7214. Now, the Shooty 7212 was not there, but Shooty 7214, let's see if he's there in front of his computer playing his tournament game. And it doesn't look like he is. So that game, I don't know who is, both those players haven't contacted me, so I don't know who didn't show up, who was there first. Make sure you guys contact me and say, hey, the person hasn't showed up. I waited here for 3:45, not showed up. Then you get credit for the win. I don't know what happened there. But the next game here is New Festive Chaos versus Michael Davis. and make sure that you guys put the right colors in. Okay, right colors in. You keep the same color both of the times. You don't switch colors. If you played white with 30 minutes, you play white for the 5 minutes. You don't switch colors. So let's see here. That was a issue with these two players at first. So I see that right now. Okay, so now they're playing the right colors, I guess. New Festive Chaos is now black. Now, would that be, is that correct? Okay, hold on. Let me go to the schedule. Now, this is the way you see what color you're gonna have. So this is the Bishops versus the Dragons. We're looking at the 5th board for the Bishops. And this is the black schedule. And we're here on Sunday. The Bishops are white. So they get white on board 1, 3, and 5. The Bishops do. Okay. And that means the Bishops, white, New Festive Chaos, should have had white on board 5. White on board 5. So that was a mistake there. Friday, yep. White on board 5. And here, the colors are switched here. And I'm going to say if you started the game knowing that the colors are wrong, the game continues. And we're going to look at this game here now. This was the wrong color. Okay, all the instructions are on Michigan Junior Chess Arena.com. The instructional video is there. Everyone should watch that video to make sure they don't make these mistakes during playing time. But yes, white, New Festive Chaos was supposed to have white in this game. Now, right now, it doesn't really matter. Look like black is winning this game here, has an extra pawn. So, and now I'm looking at moves like king to, so she checks here, but she had moves like king c4, and look like she would be much better here with black pieces. So she's fine here with black. All right, so that game is going on. And then now she's winning. Look like she's winning this game easily. She's up 2 pawns. And the one thing I will say is there was no reason for New Festive Chaos to move this fast. Like, she has all this time. And she could take this pawn here and she would have 3 pawns up, and looks like black didn't hurt her at all in this position. All right, so let's get to another game. It looks like the Bloomfield Bishops are doing a pretty good job. Spark 101 is going to win his game in a forfeit. Ohadma loses to DDoS 10. SME8 loses on a forfeit because he wasn't at his board. And Wolf 2008 I don't know what happened with Wolf 2008 and Shooty, but maybe Wolf actually was there. But Wolf, you have to give me a message because I'm hearing that maybe Shooty was not there. And the next game we have is the Tactics versus the Masters. Tactics versus the Masters. And the first board of the Tactics is Narrator LBs, and this is Circus Master. Let's check in on this game. Circus Master versus Full Empty Pajamas. This is a really good matchup. Tactics have been struggling. So has the Muskegon Masters, who are 0-3. Tactics, I believe, are no wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. So this is the battle of the bottom, but they're trying to gain some momentum to come back in the second part of the Michigan Junior League. We have 2 games left. Anything can happen if you win 2 games. There's a possibility that you still can make the playoffs. So the first 30-minute game was won by Circus Master. And then the second game was, they're playing right now. So Circus Master from the Troy Tactics wins the first game against the first board Full Empty Pajamas. And right now they're playing their, okay, maybe Circus Master has won the game here too. So Circus Master wins the Blitz game and the Classical game against Full Empty Pajamas and gets the score for Troy Tactics. The next is Chess BTL against Vizel. Chess BTL against Vizel here. And I'm going to look up Chess BTL. Okay. Chess BTL is the second board for the Troy Tactics. All right, so the first game I see, the 30-minute game, Vizel wins, and that's a win for the Masters there in Classical. And then they're playing right now, they're playing right now in their 5-minute and 2-second increment game. And I see Vizel as black. He is down to 38 seconds. And white has, I mean, this is vicious. Bishop to h7 check, rook h7. This is just doesn't look good at all. Maybe you have to play, I don't know, f6. He plays f5, where you have en passant coming. But, oh, if you take en passant, you lose the queen with queen takes g5. Actually, so this is not a bad move at all. This is actually a strong move. f5. You can't take en passant because of queen takes g5. Thank you, everybody, for joining this live stream. The internet connection isn't the best, but we have to make do with what we have. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to this channel, and also the Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel as well. So this was a strong defensive move from Vizel here, and he's 24 seconds down 1 minute. But I'm looking at a move like rook to g6, just putting 2 pieces on the pin knight. Rook g6 could work. What else could work? Oh, he just backs up, and he has a vicious threat of going bishop to b3. Bishop b3 would be a knockout blow, because you notice the knight is actually pinned. So actually bishop b3 now is a knockout blow. Bishop b3, he has to block with the rook. And man, then you have like rook to f6. You have to watch this queen to e1 move, I guess, but I don't think it really works. Now, see, bishop e6 is a blunder. Because now you just go rook takes e6, or, yeah, rook takes e6 looks great. But instead, he goes rook to e2. That works too. There is a check. So maybe it wasn't as accurate as the other move could have been. Actually, it wasn't the best move at all. So now you just have bishop takes b3. But black doesn't move and loses that game on time. And that is a win for Chess BTL in the Blitz portion, and he wins for the Troy Tactics there. Let's go to Roper 7. Roper 7. So Roper 7 is the third board of Detroit Tactics, and he's playing the third board of the Muskegon Masters Tacky Element. And this is a pretty good battle. Looks like they have finished up, and Roper 7 wins both games, the Classical and the Blitz game here. I believe. I think this is, yes, he wins both games there. And so he gets 2 wins for Detroit Tactics. Now, we're going to check back in on, we're going to check one first board that we didn't check on. We want to go around and check these first boards if they still have games going. And one first board I know that has a game going is BCW for the Midtown Checkmates versus the #1 team, Wallace Harris and the Farmington Forks. This game is a 30-minute game. BCW Arts wins that 30-minute game pretty convincingly. Oh my goodness. And actually it was 22 moves, and now he's playing in but actually, you know what? This game here is not, this game he's playing right now, this is not going to be an easy game to win. Because already you see that you're going to have to try to draw the game here because there's a pass pawn here. And this doesn't look, this is not easy at all. And you're going to see 2 queens on the board, which is weird. That even though there's 2 queens on the board, oh wow, that is a pretty strong move there too. But you're gonna have this 4 pawns, and this king is just so weak. Even though there's gonna be 2 queens on the board, there's gonna be a bunch of checks coming. So this king is gonna have to try to find somewhere to hide. Wow. And time is even here. There is a checkmate threat here on H1 too. So I'm pretty sure this is winning for black, but it's not easy here for black because you gotta avoid the check somehow. Now here you can play queen to C3, and then you have to play queen to D6 check. Okay, now this is really a funny position here. Look, this is a really funny position here. Man, I must say this is a hard position to do over the board. Now the crazy thing is he could take this pawn on A6, and look at that. So there's 3 pawns versus a queen. You can't trade the queens for sure. It's just no. You can't even do that. Probably gonna go here again with another check. There it goes. And then another diagonal check. Probably here. That should give a diagonal check there. Okay, and then, okay, so now he's making some progress here. And for instance, he has to protect the pawn, but there's a check here. So he allows the check, he allows the king to go to F2. But I think he has the right path now, but he has to just move. He has to move here. He does. And he does take a check here. Now, I think this is, well, there's another check here. Queen to c2. Queen c2 here. There will be, man, this is, and this checkmate here. This is checkmate. What is he doing? He had to go queen c2 check, but now this is just a checkmate on g2. What is he doing? Wow, that was amazing. Even though it doesn't look like it even matters actually now. It doesn't, ooh, wait a minute. Is this a stalemate? Nope, no stalemate yet. What if you take here? Now the thing is, you can probably run. He didn't run. And then there's a checkmate there. Yeah. That was strange. There was a checkmate threat there. I don't know what happened in this game. All right, but the Forks Wallace beats BCH, and now that's the first loss that he's had in the Blitz portion of the tournament, and he's been really struggling. BCH has been struggling. BCW has been struggling in 30 minutes, but wins the 30-minute game and loses, kind of opposite, loses the 5-minute game there. All right, let's go to the white division and see if we can see any of our first boards here. We have CPR chess. And in the white division, we seem like we have less injuries. And what I mean by injuries is kids who are not showing up for their matches. So here's CPR chess. And here, today it is the Saginaw Sacrifice. CPR chess played the Novi Knights. So both of these teams, I think Saginaw, Novi Knights is actually second place, I believe, in the Classical. I'm pretty sure, or in Blitz at least. But definitely a pretty decent team. And this is KJ Cobb versus CPR Chess. They are still playing their 30-minute game. And let's check in on that. These are both the two first boards from these two teams. And when I look at this game, my first thing that stands out to me is the bishop pair for white. I see this pawn here that's on b6, pass pawn, and this very bad bishop here that's blocked by its own pawns. Now black does have 6 pawns, and so does white. And I believe this is a winning position here for white right now. This is a winning position here. Now, white just really, now what white is threatening to do now is just simply just to take on c6 and then take and then go bishop take c6 here and then win another pawn. How does black wiggle out of this? It's going to be very hard for black to even wiggle out of this here. So CPR chess is black here, and KJ Cobb is playing white. All right, so I'm trying to figure out a way that black could kind of defend himself, but it's going to be tough. Even 97 and rook e1 with the pin, that's a tough thing to do. This is just looks losing very bad for CPR chess here, who has black. So let's go to another first board matchup. Let's go to Scott Lightyear. Scott Lightyear And he's the first board for the Franklin Fried Liver, who are winless, I believe. I think they don't have any wins, mainly because they have injuries. They have about 3 kids that are just not showing up. This was a team made of free agents. So Scott Lightyear and Saxer, the second board, have been showing up pretty much every round. But they're struggling as a team because they just don't have enough players to compete. So here, Scott Lightyear, I guess they were playing maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was the Ann Arbor Advantage that the Fried Liver was playing, and I guess Scott Lightyear actually didn't show up in this tournament, which is unfortunate. And that's going to give the Ann Arbor Advantage, which is he was supposed to play Super Samrat. And Super Samrat is the first board for the Ann Arbor Advantage. They are definitely in the running for a playoff spot. And that is right. So Super Samrat is going to get that victory on that first board there. And then finally we have the Rooks versus the Wood Pushers. And this is the highest rated player in this tournament here. It's AJS Chess. Now, AJS Chess has struggled in the first 2 rounds. He lost his classical game to much lower rated players. But the last round, he won both of his games here. So he's bouncing back. He's won his Blitz games, but it's just the classical games here. And here, he won his classical game against Roper 10. This is the leader of the Warren Wood Pushers here, Roper 10. And I believe the Warren Wood Pushers are undefeated in classical, if I'm not mistaken, or at least maybe 1 draw. So they are leading the division. And now they're playing the 5-minute game. And let's check in on it now. If we look at White, he's really winning this game. He has 5 extra pawns plus an extra piece, or extra 2 pieces. So this is completely winning for AJS Chess right there. So let's go to the second board of the Warren Wood Pushers. That's the Hidden Forest matchup. Hidden Forest versus Determined Octopus. And I believe Hidden Forest, if he's not undefeated, he's definitely close to being one of the top second boards in the Michigan Junior Team Arena League. And here in his classical game, Determined Octopus wins that classical game. Oh no, it was a draw. Sorry, it was a draw between the 2 second boards from the Warren Wood Pusher and the Rochester Hills Rooks. And in the 5-minute game, Hidden Forest wins that game, the 5-minute game against Determined Octopus. So he scores 1.5 out of the 2 games there. And so that's going to be a big one for them too. Now let's look at Grizzly. Grizzly versus Perfect Angle. Grizzly versus Perfect Angle, and the same 2 teams. All right, so Grizzly, Perfect Angle wins the first game against Grizzly, and that gives a win for the Rochester Rooks in classical. And then in the Blitz, Perfect Angle wins again, so he wins both the games against Grizzly, and that's going to be a big thing for the Rochester Rooks, as AGS Chess also wins both games. Determined Octopus gets a draw, but then wins the Blitz game. So the Rochester Rooks could beat the Warren Wood Pushers, and if that happens, and actually I'm already counting 3 wins in classical, or 2.5 wins in classical, and if Rochester Rooks beat the Warren Wood Pushers, this is gonna make it this Friday coming up very important, for playoffs. Now, Little Almond, the future of the Implodians, is playing here against, let's see, Dion Ma. Little Almond is playing against Armand. Okay, and Little Almond in the 30-minute game has won that game. Wow. And not only is it a win, it looks very bad. And Little Almond also has won the Blitz game. And remember, guys, when the draft was going on, and I seen people where they were skipping, because in this year's draft, I know a lot of people want to pick their friends. That your friends might not be the ones that's going to help you win. I'm telling you, you got to pick the best player available. And Little Almond, for him to fall to the Warren Wood Pushers as their third pick, or actually it was, yes, their third pick or fourth pick. I'm sorry, yeah, their fourth pick. To fall to them as a fourth pick there, that was man, that was game changing for the Warren Wood Pushers. And you talk about in the playoffs, Little Almond is undefeated. So out of 4 rounds, he's played 2 each round. He has 8 wins and 0 losses on the 4th board. So Little Almond is headed for an MVP on the 4th board there. You talking about this kid is 7 years old. Okay, 7 years old, and he is dominating the Michigan Junior League on that board. Now, their last board here, and that helps out the Warren Wood Pushers getting that score from Little Almond. And their last board is Wolf Hunter versus Top Madhouse. And these two are brothers, actually. And so this is going to be interesting. Wolf Hunter versus Top Madhouse. Is there any chance that the little brother can beat the big brother here? It doesn't look like that happened. It looks like these games are done and the big brother wins both of the games. And that should probably win it or at least win the classical portion for the Warren Wood Pushers over the Rochester Rooks. But it was very, very close. Very, very close there. All right. And actually, I believe that is all the games. I think that's all the games, and the games are pretty much done. Standings will be coming out tomorrow for both black divisions and white divisions to see where everyone stands for the playoffs. There's one more regular season day. That's day 5, and that's Friday at 3:30 p.m. You remember, 30-minute game and 1 5-minute with 2-second increment game. You can get all your information on Michigan Junior Chess Arena. That's right down below the screen. Also, the videos you can see on michess.org. That is our sponsor, Michigan Chess Association. Is also helping us in this tournament to sponsor us here. And we thank them for their support. And we will have another season after this one. It will be our June season. And that is I'm gonna prepare for that. It's gonna be a bigger season. It's gonna be more kids from different places around the country, and we're gonna probably have to add more teams just to accommodate players from all around. And maybe we have a draft with just those players and add teams to our league already. So it's going to be very, very competitive, and look for details coming on that too. But we still have a regular season game to go. It is very close, especially in the black or the white division. I mean, you're talking about the first 2 teams are 2-1. Then in the classical, then the bottom teams are like 1-2. So 1 game swing means a lot in that league, in this league, right? So both divisions, if you win a round, I mean, you just want to make the playoffs. top 2 teams make the playoffs, and then the winner of those make the championship. And there you go. And that's in Blitz and in Classical. If you're a good enough a team, you might be like the Farmington Forks. Looks like they can make the playoffs in both Blitz and Classical, because they are that good in both different types of variations of chess. All right, so remember, Michigan Junior Arena, MichiganJuniorChessArena.com is where you can get all your information and the schedule and your roster and matchups for next week. And representing the Michigan Junior Arena, I am the coach, Implodian, out.